Hey everyone, guess what? I guess I'm live. Okay, good. Today, we're in my kitchen again with ExtractCraft. I said that I would do an EtOH Pro Rev 2 review demo. Okay, so it's over there. And I was just thinking that maybe I'll move this a little bit closer so we can see it a little bit better. How about this? Yeah. Wish I'd gotten the chance to do this a little bit sooner before I went live, but there you go. That's the beauty of live. Hey, so let's talk about the EtOH Pro Rev 2 by ExtractCraft. Here it is. And you know what? Let me go ahead and set up the source next to it so you can see them both together. Because I am going to talk a little bit about how they are together. So there's the source turbo, and here is the EtOH Pro. These are both ethanol recovery machines from ExtractCraft. They help you to make, they help me basically to make full extract cannabis oils, also known as RSO, FICO. And they also are popular in the community for making extracts of other botanicals as well, such as I am doing some orange peels right here. These are going to get extracted. And I've made some really good, I'm going to dilute this back out again, but my cannabis roots extract. Hi, friends. Nice to see you, Kayona and JJ over there. So yeah, here's some cannabis root extract that I soaked some cannabis roots in alcohol, yada, yada. So let's not talk about all my little things I've done with it. Let's talk about the machines themselves. So once, a long while ago, you can look in my YouTube stream for my video on how to make orange extract with the Source Turbo. And that's what the video that I did to show people how to use the machine. And it was so successful that I ended up getting a job. So, hey, I'm now a spokesperson with ExtractCraft, and you can watch my videos there at www.extractcraft.com. Heck yeah. Today, we're going to talk about this bad boy, the EtOH Pro. So in preparation for today's live demo, I actually ran some CBGA stem cell that had been filtered twice and to be extracted in it. So the first thing we're going to do after I show you the machine and talk about it a little bit is just like pour something out onto a mat that I extracted earlier. And then if we have time, I'll do an actual wash, like get it set up to use again. Hi, happy Friday. Yes, and the roots. Heck yeah, you guys, roots are everywhere. Cannabis roots are just showing up in topicals everywhere, and make your own extracts. They also do really well in water decoction too, I hear, but I mean, if you have a Source Turbo. Okay, let's get to the EtOH Pro. Okay. How easy is it to use? It is so easy to use. I can't even lie to you. It's amazing. This thing is so easy to use. Here's the button. It says start stop. You really can't see it. Let's bring this even closer. So here we go. Start stop. And then it has this is the temperature. So if you adjust this knob, this is the lowest temperature, and we're talking like between, under 107. 105 is like the highest temperature you can get on it. So you can actually adjust the temperature on the EtOH Pro, which is really cool. And then if you have the vacuum lid, which they're still kind of like working on, but I'm going to get when they have it ready, you can do purge mode with this and an auxiliary pump. So that's pretty cool. But it's super easy. You just literally press the button and it starts up. This over here is where the ethanol recovery happens. This is all of the ethanol alcohol that was in my tincture that I got back. Look at all that. That's pretty much all of it. It gets like 90, more than 90% of your alcohol back, like 98%. It's so great. And it's so easy to use. Literally, you just press the button, set your temperature. I actually had it here, and then let it run. Okay, so that's like the close-up of it. I hope that really worked out because, the EtOH Pro has a capacity that is 4 liters. That's like almost a gallon of wash. That's 2 of these, you guys. 2 of these at one time. And its process only takes 3 hours and it's done. Like done. Like with the Source Turbo, you do one process with it and then you do another process with it in order to get your stuff finished. This guy, it's done, or lady, this one, it's done in 3 hours. You possibly might need to lay it out on the mat to, let the tiniest bit of stuff purge off. That's very common. And I'll show you what you get when you first pour it out, but it's really amazing. How awesome is it to process like 12 times as much in the same time frame or shorter? It's awesome. It's very awesome. It is very worth it. It is an expensive machine, and you can see that it's like a lab looking machine. I don't know about it for home use. I mean, I love it for home use, but this is my Canna home, right? You guys, I'm DIYing my little heart out. So, oh, hi, Becky. Welcome. Yay. Yeah, Jay O'Brien. I hope you're saying like the time savings is the best and the ease is the best because it is. It is the best. The source is awesome. And don't get me wrong, I'm really grateful that I have them both together. And I'll talk about that in a second. But just the like EtOH Pro on its own, if you're rich and you can afford it, I mean, and you have the space, the sky's the limit. If you're a lab or a small farm, this is a great investment for you to have more SKUs in your like store. You know, you can sell extracts or you can make your own tinctures and topicals with this, you know, using your own trims and stuff, as well as selling your flowers. I mean, I'm not like a business consultant to any farms, but I know a lot of, you can tell by shopping at farms what they're offering. And, you know, you can imagine that having their own machines is way that how they're doing it. What I understand about the market is that, you know, these are like the only kind of home appliances for this purpose that are really good at ethanol recovery. This kind of technology is totally employed by all of the people you buy from at the dispensary, this and CO2 extraction and stuff. And all of that stuff is just, their machines are way commercial. You know, this is the sort of like more commercial version of the source. And then there'd be like bigger brothers and sisters of it that would go live at craft breweries, for example. They use extracts of hops to flavor their beers regularly. It's so cool. Um, my kitchen looks like a lab. I know, right? If you are a canner caregiver, this is a huge time saver. And if you are like a canna caregiver, and I mean, I'm not trying to like as a business, it especially makes sense. Or even if it's not, you could maybe do like a little math and a fundraiser because it's $2,000, right? With my code, you get 15% off. That's very worth it. Um, you could think about doing like a little fundraiser for it and or share it or something like that or put it in a place. It's so easy to use. I don't think people could break it, but anyway. Great ideas, honestly. How much flour can it hold and how much concentrate can you make in one go? Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. I'm going to move this back and we're going to pour out and I'll show you what I did. The flour thing is up to you, Jay. It's like I usually use about 2 ounces, but it's kind of up to you. Okay, I'm going to grab my little spatula. These little spatulas, you need these if you're going to be some kind of extract crafter. Okay, I already turned it off, and here's the kettle. It holds 4 liters. It's under vacuum, but it's already been off for a while, so the vacuum is released. I'm just wiping down the kettle top because that's where all the alcohol goes to get recondensed. And it has its own like vacuum here. It sucks up, so all of the alcohol goes into your jar over there. All right. It has holsters for these lids and stuff, but I didn't install mine. Okay. It is on little rails right here, the kettle, and it plugs in to the heating element back here. Let's pour out. This was originally about, I think, 2 ounces of CBGA stem cell from Horn Creek hemp trim. And well, this is not going to give you any kind of actual, but watch. I'm not weighing it right now, so I can't give you a number, but typically you're going to see 4 to 6 grams. I mean, 3 to 6 grams, 3 to 5 from every ounce of flour that you do. Okay, 3 to 5 grams. I did 2 ounces of flour. We're going to see it's very liquid. I'm going to bring the camera to it. Ta-da. So have a good look at that. I'm going to move it around so you can see the thinness of it. It needs to purge a little bit and evaporate a little bit. You know, something that a lot of extract crafters do who actually have EtOH Pros, they take this and then put it in the source and finish it. Quote, quote, finish it, if that makes sense. So 2 ounces of flour went into this, so I'm expecting to get 6 to 10 grams in the end. It's looking more like 6. Yeah. So I'm going to put it over here. So I'm going to show you doing another run with the source. I mean, with the EtOH Pro. So the first step in doing any kind of extraction with cannabis is to freeze. So I'm just getting cannabis out of my freezer. And this is alcohol that I've reused. And this is an empty jar. We're going to weigh a couple of 2 ounces of cannabis into this and put about 1,000 milliliters of alcohol over it. How do you evaporate the residual otherwise? How do you evaporate the residual otherwise? Well, over here, Jay, see this like crock pot situation I've got right here? A lot of times I'll just put it on warm and transfer this guy into here and just let it evaporate. Not a lot of times, just, you know, when I'm doing it this way. To be quite honest with you, sometimes I'll just put that in a bottle. It's usable just as it is. Okay. Let's continue with this actual demo. Sorry for all that, but you got to see the back of my shirt. All right, what did I say we were doing? We're putting a couple ounces of cannabis into a glass jar, right? Ta-da. So I need this. You guys need this. You need this. You need this funnel for canning. And you need a scale to weigh, which is tiered. So I've got 49 grams of, this is Hawaiian Haze CBDA from, I believe this is from Horn Creek Hemp, I think. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm already over 63 grams. Wow, that was fast. We need 56 grams. Let's see what we've got now. Oh, I know why. Shoot, you guys. Okay, watch this. Jar, plus lid, plus funnel. Now do the tearing. Now it's at 0. That's why. Because the funnel weighs like 30-something grams. So I was like, how is it possible that I've done it so fast? Gotta keep your wits about you when you're on the live demo. 18 grams. Much more appropriate. Here we go. We're on the road to 56. 30. 46. Thanks for giving all the thumbs up that I can actually see from here, Jenny. I appreciate it. 46. 10 more grams. 55. 56. We did it. Yay. Alrighty. So I'm just going to put this off to the side. The next thing we're going to do is put about 1,000 milliliters of alcohol over this. Let me explain. The reason why we're not doing like the full capacity of the machine is because of other limiting factors in my system. The number one that's important to note is my flask system tops out at 1,000. And I've gone over it. It's so fast because it's shaped like a pyramid. And like, you don't want to overflow it because then it goes into the vacuum port and into the tube, which I'll show you, not making that mistake, but I'll show you how it can happen. So I actually only do runs of like 1,000 milliliters at a time, which is still 4 runs of the source. So, you know what I mean? Like with the EtOH Pro, you get that ability. So I'm only going to put about 1,000 milliliters of alcohol in here. And it'll be fine. It'll totally cover it. This all works out so easily, so much, you guys. You don't even really have to think about these numbers. It just happens. Give it a swirl. If your flowers, these are smalls, and I didn't feel the need to break them up. But if you have really large, dense nugs where the inside of it won't get saturated with alcohol, if you don't open them up, you should break them up gently with your fingers. Okay, I'm going to put this in the freezer for 5 minutes. So one of the reasons why having a source and an EtOH Pro is like a really good idea, why it's okay to just get a source when you're first starting out, because it's much cheaper for one, and you're going to hone your skills on it. And it might hurt your feelings knowing that there's an EtOH Pro out there for $2,000 that can do 4 times what you're, 12 times what you're doing in 3 hours. Yeah, it's really amazing and wonderful. And I'm telling you, like, I can't oversell it. I really just can't. Everyone I've talked to about the EtOH Pro literally says the same thing I'm saying. Like, wow, that was amazing. How much I was able to get done, right? But they work well together. This is something that I wanted to talk about them. I said in my email, they're the perfect pair. Why? Dylan Padell over at ExtractCraft explained to me that I don't need to get an auxiliary pump to do all of the filtering. I can just use the source for my filtering. And it totally works. Like, I use the source for my filtering the same as I would for the source, and then I just put that amount into the EtOH Pro and I run it. Speaking of limiting systems, though, so another thing about the EtOH Pro that you really have to understand, same as the as this guy, like, you don't want to overfill this. You don't want to overfill this jar. So this is the limiting factor of the EtOH Pro. Even though the kettle can actually process a gallon at a time, this part of the system, the recollection jar right here, is the limiting factor. It can only hold 1,500. I don't know if you can buy a jar that's big enough and will work with the system. Most people just set a timer and switch it out. If they're doing a full load in the source and they are going to, they're going to stop at like right around 1,000 milliliters, 1,200, and switch out this jar for another one and fill that one and keep going. So I don't do that. I made a mistake. I accidentally didn't react on time and I overflowed my jar. Nothing happened. The whole system is fine. I called customer service. Of course, I always call customer service when I make mistakes. And they were like, it's fine. And they were right. It was fine. However, for ease of use, I use these flasks. They're 1,000 milliliters. So I basically just run 1,000 milliliters every time. And it also helps with this part of the system. It runs fast. It's a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't have to worry about changing that part out. So that's one way to solve that problem if you are one of these people that, I don't know, might get distracted when you're doing your work and not come back in time and overfill your jar, like me. And it's happened to other people as well. Another reason why the Source Turbo and the EtOH Pro are a perfect pair is because, like I mentioned to my friend JJ there, that the EtOH Pro can get you to like a very liquid tincture, but it's also very concentrated. And then if you are like if you want to finish it in the source, then you can. And that's kind of a thing that a lot of people do. They sort of like use this EtOH Pro to get their tincture down to like a really strong concentrate. And then especially if they're going for like a smokable and they want to control it very much, they might move it to the source for finishing. So 3 ways, educationally, 4 ways, price-wise, and how to use them together in terms of the vacuum pumping for your filtration and finishing, like crude processing, not really crude, but like general processing, and then finished processing is something you can do. 4 things that are exciting about using the system together. All right. The money you save on solvent will pay for the machine in no time. I agree, 100%. I get most of my solvent from 420 Extractors. They're a company in Colorado, and I have it shipped to me, and it's kind of expensive to have it shipped to me, but it's great alcohol for my purposes. I trust them very much. A lot of people on ExtractCraft use it, and I have not had to buy more. I mean, like for a long time, and I'm so grateful to be able to do all the things I've been able to do with these 2 machines now. Let's talk about that a little bit. I've been able to make, for example, if you've seen some of my stuff on my channel, I make these multi-cannabinoid formulas for tinctures for my family, which is a way that the market is definitely going. I wrote a blog post on my website, www.cannacuriouscoaching.com, about how the Canna Kit is the way forward. A lot of companies from all of the biggest names, like Dr. Ethan Russo, are promoting this idea that you need a multitude of cannabinoids, like a very, full spectrum formula of more than one kind of cannabinoid in a series to support you throughout the day, like morning, noon, and night when you're falling asleep. I totally ascribe to the same thinking. That's how I designed my kit. My Exacta is a non-intoxicating daytime formula. My trifecta is like an afternoon, or it has THC, so it has a lot of properties of being able to help with pain and things like that. And then the sleepy time is that formula that helps you go to sleep. So I do have a tinctures class for that. If you guys don't know, it's so awesome. I am really kind of tired today because yesterday was big for me. I was teaching my tinctures class, and it's like our third meeting, and we went over dosage math, and I was like kind of like hyped for it. It went great. I'm so excited. Thank you everybody for supporting my business in that way. And I'll be offering that class again on the very last day of March. I told people that I would offer it again in March. So whatever the last day of March is the first day of that class will be going again. I'll put all of this on my website, you guys. And I think it's in my link tree. So anyways, oh my goodness, stuff going on. Smiles and the money, yes. And the bow, oh, thank you. And agree with the multi-cannabinoid kit, yes, for sure. So what have I been able to do with the EtOH Pro? I've been able to make like a ton of, I'm so short, of like syringes of concentrates that I use. Using concentrates in your formulation, preach, people from my tinctures class, is easy and fun. You get a lot done with these concentrates, and I've been able to make tons of concentrates from flower I've either purchased online from CBD growers across the country, or from my own homegrown flowers, or locally purchased flowers from my local dispensaries here in California. I think it's been 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and grab this guy out and look at it. So at this stage, what you want to do is you want to get your flowers away from your alcohol really fast. And what we have for that is, I have these new ones. These are metal mesh ones. Maybe I should try one. And I have this other plasticky one that I had a really hard time getting off of my machine. But these are just perforated mesh screens. I'll just use this one. But you can buy from Amazon or just anywhere. They're very popular in like home canning. This is all a lot of just home canning in a lot of ways. Especially if you use an Instapot for all these chores. Okie dokie. Ta-da! Beautiful. Okay, let's talk about the subject of how many washes you should do. You should always do at least 2. A wash is like this. This is a wash. This is 1,000 milliliters of very cold ethanol that just washed all of my flour and has grabbed a bunch of cannabinoids off of it. But in no way was that, oh no, oh there it is. But in no way was that like the fullness of it. You should do a second wash. This one was for 5 minutes. The next one should be for 10 minutes in your freezer. So I'm woefully a little bit bad. There's that. That's not quite enough to cover it. So we're going to do something so bad right now, but it's my kitchen. What are you going to do? Look, recovered alcohol. The only reason this is a little bit of a problem is because it's warm. And I hate to do that. I hate to like kind of compromise the coldness of what I was doing, but I think for the sake of the second wash, it'll be fine. Okay, so this is the second wash of the alcohol. It's another 1,000 milliliters and or 1 liter basically of alcohol. I'm going to put it in the freezer for 10 minutes, and that'll be the totality of how many times I wash this. So basically, I'm generating like 1 run in the EtOH, or 2 because of my system, and I don't want to change out the jar. I'll probably just do this twice, so that's fine with me. So let me see, 10 minutes on this, and then I would typically combine them. I would put this thing back on there and combine them, and then just like do all my filtering. But let's go ahead and just set up filtering one more time, not one more time, but for the demo, for the sake of a demo, and show filtering. Okay, we're gonna filter with the Source Turbo. Oh goodness, I have all the things. I'm gonna bring it up front, so hopefully it'll be easier to see. We're going to use its filtration pour vacuum port. Taking off the globe. And here's the vacuum port right there. It uses this little tube that you can buy. Well, and then here's a flask. It's a 1,000 milliliter flask. You attach the vacuum port to the tube like that. This is called a bucketer funnel. It has a lot of holes. And what you do is you put it into the flask away from with the pointy tip, away from the port, so that your wash doesn't get accidentally sucked into the port. Truth can happen. And what we are filtering with are papers from the company, but you can also use coffee filters in a pinch in the funnel. You can also use coffee filters in a coffee strainer, that kind of thing, but I tried it and it takes a long time. I like this way better, but of course all of these accessories are extra. I'm going to just use a fast flow funnel filter first to get all of this it's going to be really dirty because this is just fresh off the flower. It's best to filter twice before running like any cannabis, just twice. And if you can freeze it overnight in between your filterings, that would be great. Be really good. See, here's the paper. Put it in there. It's a process that's called winterization. I talked about it a tiny bit in my, you just put a little bit of alcohol in there to make the filter kind of stick down when you're going to use it. Okay, got to plug this guy in. Please reach. Yes, we did it. Okay, to filter with the Source Turbo, you're going to press this button and turn this knob all the way closed. Yeah, closed. Here we go. Hello, that was like immediate. It's totally done. Wow. I love how fast this is. After trying it with the coffee filters and a sieve, I just am never going to stop saying how great this is. All right, here we go. Let's look like we like to do. Here's the filter. Maybe we can get some sunshine on it. And it's dirty, super dirty. There it is. That's what it looks like when you just like roughly separated. Right, Nia? So fast. I mean, God, this whole process, if you made RSO the old way, it takes days, like a week, like all day and then a week. This whole situation is like amazing, even though you have to kind of learn stuff. It's fun to learn things, right? Okay, so there's the filtration. I'm just going to stick it over there. You do kind of have to wipe out your funnel and wash it. And look at that beautiful CBDA. So pretty. 600 milliliters. I guess I didn't put in much in there than I thought. Perfect. In the Source, this would be 4 runs, 2 runs. I'm sorry, 2 runs. This would be 2 runs in the Source. 300 milliliters each. In the EtOH Pro, I mean, you could just eat this. It's just, you could just pour it in right now, except for that you should filter it one more time. Okay, so you should put this in the freezer for overnight and then filter it one more time. The reason you put it in the freezer overnight is the winterization, which I said, it solidifies the fats and waxes. Some people put it into medical grade freezers or dry ice. I mean, you can push that cold as far as you can, but it solidifies the fats and helps you filter them out better. So the next day you'll have like an even cleaner one than if you filtered it now. It would be a little bit more liquid. Those fats, you wouldn't get them out as much. That's it. That's all we're talking about. But you can make it as good as you want. It's as beautiful as you want. Typically, for using the EtOH Pro, literally you just pour it in there and press the button, you guys. It's so easy. I almost don't even want to demo it because I didn't clean it out from last time. And this is CBDA and that's CBGA. So if you're doing one thing all the time, you don't have to clean that much because it's like the same cannabinoid. But because for me, I'm switching between cannabinoids, I have to clean the thing, which is so easy. Just grab some ethanol and then like your paper towel and just like wipe it out. It's not that hard. I don't know why I'm complaining, but it's 2:30 and I've been live for 30 minutes and I think we should wrap it up. So I hope that that was enough about the EtOH Pro and a little bit about filtering and how they're good together. Everything's down in the description. I should just point to the description. Like, subscribe, look in the description for all of my affiliate stuff. Have a great weekend. Be healthy, right? Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you next week. I think I'm going to do something with maltodextrin and how to make like tincture and oil powder with it and, put it into like drinks, soups, that kind of stuff. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.